The landscape of television spin-offs and prequels is a tricky terrain to navigate. When a show branches off from a beloved original, fans carry high expectations, and the creators face a balancing act between honoring the source material and delivering fresh, engaging content. Young Sheldon, the prequel to the phenomenally successful The Big Bang Theory, debuted in 2017 with the promise of exploring the formative years of the beloved genius Sheldon Cooper. Over 7 seasons, it has enjoyed solid ratings and a dedicated fan base, yet it has not been without its shortcomings. Enter Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, a fresh spin-off that takes a detour from focusing on genius children and instead delves into the often overlooked story of siblings Georgie and Mandy Cooper, navigating their early adult lives and relationships. Though still in its infancy, this new series has already made strides in areas where young Sheldon consistently fell short. Specifically, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage excels at authentic character development and portraying the complexity of adult relationships, something young Sheldon struggled to fully realize over 7 seasons. The struggle with character development in Young Sheldon. Young Sheldon's premise is a clever one: show the young life of one of television's most iconic quirky geniuses. However, the show's primary focus on Sheldon often meant that other characters, particularly those in his immediate family, remained underdeveloped or trapped in caricature-like portrayals. Mary Cooper, George Sr., Missy, and even Georgie were often relegated to supporting roles designed to highlight Sheldon's eccentricities, rather than stand as fully fleshed-out individuals with their own arcs. Despite some emotional moments and attempts to deepen family dynamics, many viewers and critics noted a lack of complexity in these supporting characters. Mary Cooper's devout religiosity, for example, sometimes felt more like a plot device than a nuanced trait, and Georgie's teenage struggles often felt superficial. This limited development made it challenging for audiences to connect with these characters beyond their relation to Sheldon. Furthermore, young Sheldon primarily anchored its storytelling in childhood and adolescence, a period naturally constrained by family dynamics and the innocence of youth. While this made for charming, sometimes hilarious moments, it also capped the emotional depth the show could explore. Adult relationships, career challenges, and self-identity, all rich storytelling veins, were mostly left unexplored or only superficially touched upon. How Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage changes the game. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage flips this paradigm by centering on the two siblings' early adult lives, particularly their first experiences with marriage, personal growth, and the messy, often contradictory emotions that come with adult relationships. The show wastes no time in diving into the complexities of their characters as independent individuals, separate from Sheldon's shadow. What stands out immediately is the writing's commitment to authentic, multi-dimensional characters. Georgie, previously seen as a somewhat shallow teenage archetype, emerges here as a layered young man grappling with expectations, mistakes, and the reality of marriage. Mandy, who in Young Sheldon was more of a background figure, now shines as a strong, nuanced woman navigating love, ambition, and self-discovery. The series does not shy away from showing the friction between the two siblings or the personal growth they undergo individually. It depicts marriage not as a fairy tale but as a journey filled with conflict, compromise, and sometimes heartbreak. This grounded portrayal contrasts sharply with the often sanitized or comedic take on family life in Young Sheldon. Emotional depth and realistic storylines. Another area where Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage succeeds is in the emotional weight it brings to its storylines. The show's willingness to tackle the difficulties of marriage, jealousy, communication breakdowns, financial stress, and differing dreams resonates with a modern audience craving realism and relatability. The characters' struggles are not just plot points, they feel lived in and true to life. The dialogue feels natural and unforced, steering clear of sitcom cliches and instead presenting conversations that viewers might recognize from their own lives. The show balances humor with drama, ensuring that neither element overshadows the other. This tonal balance is something Young Sheldon occasionally missed, with some critics pointing out that it leaned too heavily on predictable humor or overly sentimental moments.